everyone! Thank you for joining me here at this moment. By the way, I'm Lara Lindsay Tambawan, taking Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies. So, I'm here today to talk to you about the short story. In this video presentation, it will help you understand what is the short story really means. So what comes to your mind when we say a short story? So let us begin. A short story is a short work of fiction. Because of the shorter length, it usually focuses on one plot, one main character, with a few additional minor characters, and one central theme. A short story, it can be read in one setting. It has 1,000 to 20,000 words long. It has limited set of characters, a single setting, and a simple plot. So here's the element of the short story. First is the setting. It is the time, place, and social environment in the short story. Next is the plot. It is the sequence of action and events in the story. Then we have theme. It is the central idea or subject of the story. Then we have message. The message is the idea the writer wants to convey in the story. Point of view. It is the angle from which the story is told. Next, we have a language and style. It is the way the writer has written in the story. Characters. The people in the story. Exactly. And lastly is the moral values. The values of the stories teaches you. So what the setting really means? The setting is the time, place of the story's action. Setting also include ideas, customs, values, beliefs of the time or era shown in the story. Setting is when and where the story is taking place. It also establishes the atmosphere of the story. Now, we have the requirements of the setting, which is the time, place, general environment, what is mode and tone prevalent in that particular setting. So next is the character. They are the actors of the story's plot. They can be people, animal, or whatever the writer chooses. So now let's move on to the topic, which is the different types of the character. First is the protagonist. It is basically the character who is trying to achieve a goal. Next is the antagonist. From the word anta, the anti, the character who causes the problem in the story. Next is the plot character. The character with only one trait and they have no depth. Next is wrong character. They are usually a complex character, many-sided, or basically taken from real life. Next is the static character, which do not change during the story. And lastly, the dynamic character, which changes usually for the better due to the events in the story. So let's tackle about the elements of the plot. First is the exposition. It is background information, establishes the setting and describes the situation. Second is the rising action. Characters face or try to solve the problem. This results in conflict within themselves or with others. Climax. Eventually, this story reaches a crucial moment. The tension that is building reaches a peak. Falling action. sometimes called the denouement. This part of the story explores the consequence of the climax. The tension in the story begins to ease. Resolution is the last. This story's central problem is finally solved, leaving the reader with a sense of completion. So in this story, we cannot hide the conflict, which is the problem or struggle in the story. So we have the different types of conflict, which is the internal and external conflict. Internal conflict is the struggle within the character's mind and heart, while external conflict is struggle between two characters or between characters and nature. So we also have the theme. Theme is the main idea of the story. The idea the author wants to put across the reader. The theme may be the author's commentary on life. They can be specific or they can be universal. So we have different kinds of story. First is the fairy tales. It is about royalty, fairies, weak, stepmothers, giant, and talking animals. Second is the folk tales. They are similar to fairy tales, except that they can usually concern ordinary people rather than royalty. Third is the science fiction. It is commonly explores ideas like space, time travel, or aliens. Fourth is the fables. Characters are usually animals, plants, inanimate objects, or forces of nature which are given human qualities. Lastly is the realistic fiction. It is usually set in modern times and dialogues are realistic. So that's all for today. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to discuss. I hope you learned a lot from me and have a nice day everyone. God bless.